more than 20,000 foals. At age 3, only 20 can compete. History beckons with each step on the road to the Kentucky Derby.
The city of New Orleans, where family traditions are passed from generation to generation. No greater example than the parades of Mardi Gras week. This is where we find Brian Hernandez Jr. along with his wife Jamie and kids Jocelyn and Ben. Brian is a Louisiana native and is passing along his own traditions within the thoroughbred racing industry. Brian carries the hopes of the first Saturday in May, riding Girvin in the Risen Star at the fairgrounds. The first race on the road to the Kentucky Derby Championship Series. Brian reflects on the past that led him to this point and thinks where the future may lead.
Growing up the way we did on a little farm, we always had horses in the backyard. And horses were always part of our life. I started galloping horses when I was really young. I think I was like 10 years old. It was a lot of dedication, and luckily I had my dad there, which he's always worked hard. And he'd do the same thing. He'd gallop horses all morning long and then get a little nap and go to the races in the afternoon. Me and Jamie met actually here in New Orleans. She was an assistant trainer for Steve Asmussen. And when I first tried to talk to her the first couple times, she completely ignored me.
He had started riding for Steve at the fairgrounds, and he would purposely forget his whip in our office, and he'd be there like every morning at 5:30 picking up his whip, and I'm like, okay. I immediately was attracted to him, but at first I was just kind of like taken back. I was like, all right, I have 60 horses here. I don't have time for this.
We've been together 8 years now. We've been married 4, and we have the 2 kids, and it's just a lot of fun. I don't know how many wives and husbands have dual Eclipse awards, but it's pretty special, you know.
Can Brian and Girvin overcome the field of 12 and punch their ticket for the Run for the Roses? With family in tow, Colby competing aside, Dad valeting for his races, Mom, sister, wife, and kids all cheer on Brian in the Risen Star.
And the walk in the Risen Star Stakes. Cool Arrow, U.S. officer, who's local hero, who's going out toward the lead straight away. Now here comes Girvin's charge for Brian Hernandez Jr. And Girvin has assumed command. It's Girvin in the Risen Star Stakes.
What a day of celebration. Brian wins 2 races, capped off by victory in the Risen Star. The win puts Girvin and Brian on top of the leaderboard, giving the Hernandez family the opportunity to reach their goal of winning Kentucky Derby 143.
And Girvin's performance today was, I'd hate to say it, but we kind of expected it. We've been pretty high on him, and I wasn't quite sure if he'd step up as big as he did today, but he did. He ran a big race, and he traveled like a true winner the entire way. I mean, anytime you start talking about the Derby, you want him to try to ride some really good 3-year-olds, and it's worked out great.